All right, let's talk about that feeling, that frustrating, annoying brain fog. We're going to go through a super simple, science-backed protocol that will get you sharp again in less than 5 minutes. Let's just dive right in.
Does this look familiar? You're just staring at your screen, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but your thoughts feel sticky, slow, like you're trying to push them through mud. It's a feeling we all know. But what is actually going on in your head?
Okay, and this is probably the most important thing to get right away. This is not you being lazy. It is not a character flaw. It's a biological signal, you know? Your brain is trying to tell you something, and learning to listen is the whole game.
So what do we usually do? We push harder, we grab another coffee, we just try to force our way through it. But honestly, that's like seeing your engine overheating and deciding the solution is to floor it. It just makes everything worse, because you can't outthink a problem that isn't really about your thinking.
So if it's not a lack of effort, then what is it? Let's get into the actual science of what's happening when your brain feels like it's just gone offline.
So there's a technical term for it, prefrontal hypofrontality. It sounds super complicated, but all it means is that your prefrontal cortex, which is kind of like the CEO of your brain, isn't getting the juice it needs. It's underactive, it's underfueled, it's basically taking a power nap.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You can actually see the change in your brain's electrical activity. When you're focused, you're running on beta waves. They're fast, you're engaged, you're thinking. But when you're in that fog, your brain literally shifts down to slower alpha or even theta waves. That's the state you're in when you're daydreaming or just about to doze off. Your neurons are actually firing slower.
So how do we even get here? Well, it usually comes down to one of these 3 usual suspects. Bad sleep, for sure, or you've burned through all your dopamine by jumping between a million different tasks, or maybe the simplest one. You've just been asking your brain to think too hard for too long without hitting pause.
And that last point brings us to this really crucial number. See, your brain isn't built for marathon, 8-hour focus sessions. It works in cycles. After about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours of really deep work, it needs a break. It needs to reset. Pushing past that limit is pretty much a guaranteed recipe for brain fog.
Okay, so we get the problem now, right? Let's talk about the solution. And this is a simple, totally actionable protocol you can use anytime to reboot your brain and bring that focus right back online.
These are the 4 steps we're going to cover. Each one is specifically designed to fight back against the biological causes of that fog. So let's break them down one by one.
First up, the oxygen reset. Your brain is a total oxygen hog. It uses about 20% of your body's supply. When we get foggy, our breathing gets shallow. The real secret here is that long exhale, that 8-second exhale. It flips on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's calm-down switch. It helps more oxygen get right to your prefrontal cortex. This is pure physiology.
Okay, next, we gotta wake that sleepy prefrontal cortex back up. And the fastest way to do that is with a quick hit of dopamine. That's the chemical for motivation, for focus. And a short, intense burst of movement is the best way to get it.
And it doesn't need to be some crazy workout. Just 20 jumping jacks right there by your desk is more than enough to trigger that dopamine release and basically reboot your brain's operating system.
Or hey, if you want to kick it up a notch, 10 burpees will absolutely get the job done. The whole point is just to get your heart rate up for a minute to get those good neurochemicals flowing.
But what if you're in a quiet office and you can't just start doing jumping jacks? No problem. Here's a great little hack. Just splash your face with cold water for about 30 seconds. That cold shock creates a similar jolt, releasing norepinephrine, which is another brain chemical that's fantastic for sharpening your attention.
All right, so now your brain is oxygenated and it's alert. We need to give it a crystal clear target. This is what we call the single task anchor. Brain fog loves chaos and distraction. By closing every single tab but one, turning off notifications, and just focusing on one thing, you take the massive load off your prefrontal cortex and let it do its job.
And finally, the fuel check. Just ask yourself, has it been a few hours since I ate? Your brain might just be running on empty. And this is super important, the type of fuel matters. Stay away from sugar. That'll just give you a quick spike and an even harder crash. You want protein and healthy fats, like a handful of nuts or a hard-boiled egg, for stable, long-lasting brain energy.
So when you put all these pieces together, what does it really mean? It's all about a big mindset shift. It's about stopping the brute force approach of fighting against your brain and starting to work with its natural rhythm.
And that takes us right back to this idea of ultradian rhythms. That brain fog feeling, it's not random. It's actually a predictable part of your body's clock. It's your brain's built-in calendar reminder telling you, hey, time for a quick break.
So you really have two approaches. The old way, see the fog as an enemy you have to power through, which just makes you inefficient. Or the smart way, see that fog as a helpful signal. It's like a dashboard light in your car telling you it's time to pull over and refuel. One is a struggle, the other is a strategy. I just love this quote because it completely changes how we think about high performance. It's not about being a machine with endless endurance. It's about being smart with your energy. The top performers are just the best at recovering.
And really, that's the big takeaway here. You have so much more control over your mental state than you probably think. Clarity isn't some trait you either have or you don't. It's a state, and it's a state you can create for yourself on demand anytime you need it. All it takes is 5 minutes.